Saturday, 10:18 a.m., Blue Ridge Trail, North Carolina. Why does the forest remember what people forget? Because it was the last place anyone saw her breathing. She waved at the ranger, camera strap over her shoulder, smile small. Just another morning hike before her next photography shoot. By noon, the trail was empty. By sunset, her name was everywhere. The timestamp on her smartwatch stopped at 11:47 a.m., just 13 minutes before she should have reached the overlook. But the camera at the trail gate never showed her leaving. Her name was Tara Jensen, 26, a photographer known for chasing light where others saw shadow. Her roommate said she texted, "Signals fading, got one last shot." She never did. Last text, 11:32 a.m. When search teams arrived, they found her camera. Face down in the dirt, lens cracked, still recording. The final frame? A blurred figure between the trees. Too close, too still. The sheriff called it just a missing hiker. Her mother called it the trail that erased her. Main suspect, still unknown. But one question burned through the town. If she never left the woods? Who uploaded her last photo an hour later? Friday night, 9:03 p.m. Tara Jensen wasn't the kind of person who vanished. She checked in after every shoot, always. That was her rule. A quiet promise she never once broke. Her apartment smelled faintly of cedar and instant coffee. A half-packed camera bag sat by the door. On the counter, a mug, still warm. And on her desk, an open notebook with 4 words underlined. Find the truth in silence. She wasn't running away. Her best friend, Olivia Tran, told detectives Tara had been uneasy all week. Something about a man she met at the printing shop. Said he lingered too long, asked where she liked to shoot alone. No one thought much of it. Not until they found his business card tucked inside her camera case. No fingerprints, just a thumb-sized smudge. Name on card, K. Mercer. By Saturday morning, Olivia sent 3 messages. You heading out early? Text me when you hit the ridge. Don't chase the light too far. None were ever seen. When investigators arrived, her Jeep was still parked beside the trail sign. Doors locked, keys in the cup holder, and her smartwatch frozen at 11:47 a.m. But the strange part? At 12:41, her camera uploaded one last image to her cloud, from a location 28 miles away. Contradiction detected. Double upload. The question that began to haunt everyone. If Tara never left the woods, who used her camera after she was gone? Saturday, 7:18 p.m. At first, they told themselves she'd lost signal. That's what photographers did, chase sunsets, lost time. But by nightfall, no one was joking anymore. Tara's mother kept calling her phone every 10 minutes. The ringtone echoed through her apartment. Soft, distant, unanswered. Missed calls, 14. Her brother, Evan, drove 2 hours from Raleigh. He found her lights still on. Her laptop open to a half-edited photo of the fairground she'd shot earlier that week. A reflection in the carousel mirror showed a shadow behind her camera. He stared at it for hours, trying to convince himself it was just a trick of light. Photo metadata, 11:46 a.m. By morning, search teams were combing the Blue Ridge Trail. They found footprints, one set leading in, none leading out. When the ranger reviewed trail footage again, he noticed something strange. At 10:54 a.m., Tara passed the gate, waving as usual. At 11:02, a figure followed. Hooded, unidentified, and then static. Footage glitch. 17 seconds missing. Detective Mason Crowe watched the tape in silence. The glitch didn't look accidental. Someone had scrubbed the frame, just enough to erase a face. The investigation had officially begun. But for her mother, the real horror had already started. The kind of waiting where every phone ring sounds like both hope and ending. Status: active missing person, 18 hours. And then, at 2:13 a.m., her mother's phone lit up with a single notification. New photo uploaded by Tara Jensen. Sunday, 2:13 a.m. Detective Mason Crowe didn't believe in coincidences, especially not at 2 a.m. The cloud notification had come from Tara's personal account, timestamped 2 days after her disappearance. File name, IM_2417. When the tech team opened it, the image loaded in fragments like it didn't want to be seen. The photo wasn't of the forest. It was a close-up of Tara's own camera, propped on a tree stump, lens pointed toward the dark, and reflected in the glass was her. She looked frightened, not screaming, just frozen. Behind her, a faint light shimmered through the trees, almost human-shaped. Timestamp, 12:41 p.m., 54 minutes after last signal. The pixels distorted near the corners, as if something had moved during the shot. Dr. Rena Cole, the forensic analyst, enhanced the metadata. The camera's GPS location was 28 miles north, near an abandoned ranger station that had been closed since 1997. Location match, Black Hollow Lookout. But the real shock came from the file's upload origin. It wasn't from Tara's phone. It came from a second device that used her account, registered under the name K. Mercer. Detective Crowe leaned back in silence. The man whose card had been found in her bag wasn't just a stranger. He was inside her cloud. Main suspect updated, K. Mercer. And if he had her passwords, what else of hers did he still have? 6:42 a.m., Black Hollow Lookout. The forest looked different that morning. Not haunted, just watchful. Every branch seemed to hold its breath as the search team stepped into Black Hollow. Search area, 28 miles north. Detective Mason Crowe led the line, flashlight trembling against the mist. Birds had stopped singing hours ago. The silence wasn't natural. It was heavy, like the woods were guarding something. They found the old ranger station by accident. Collapsed roof, rusted lock twisted off. Inside, a table covered in dust and one object sitting perfectly clean. A camera tripod, identical to Tara's. Evidence logged. Tripod, no prints. Near the wall, faint shoe impressions crossed the floor. One small, one much larger. Crowe measured the distance between them. They weren't walking together. She'd been running. The team discovered scraps of photo paper scattered like leaves. Each one warped, half-burned, but all showing the same thing: trees. Empty frames of forest. Except one. That single print showed a woman's shadow at the edge of a clearing, and another shape crouched behind her, blurred but unmistakably human. Recovered print number 17, unidentified second figure. Outside, Officer Ty Blake radioed in. They'd found a torn piece of fabric caught on a wire fence 50 feet downhill. The color matched the jacket Tara wore the morning she vanished. Possible belonging Tara Jensen. Crowe's radio crackled again, softer this time. Detective, you need to see this. He followed the voice toward the clearing. There, half buried beneath leaves, lay a camera lens, shattered, but still attached to its mount. And engraved faintly on the side, scratched by something sharp, were two words. He watches. New evidence. Lens fragment. Etched text. For the first time, Crowe looked at the trees not as witnesses, but as accomplices. Monday, 9:26 a.m. Evidence Forensics Unit. Detective Mason Crowe had been awake 31 hours when the call came. The tech lab had recovered a corrupted video file from the shattered camera lens, labeled VID_0094. No one expected it to open. Recovered file, VID_0094.mp4. When the footage began to play, the room fell silent. Static at first, white noise, flickers of motion, then the faint outline of trees swaying. The camera was on the ground, tilted upward. In the corner of the frame, Tara's voice whispered, "Okay, one more shot." A shadow passed behind her. She turned just slightly, then the sound of breathing filled the mic. Not hers. Audio distortion. Male breathing detected. Seconds later, the camera jolted. The lens blurred, then refocused on a figure stepping closer. The man wore a hood, face obscured, but what froze everyone wasn't his appearance. It was his voice. Low, calm. You shouldn't have taken that photo. The screen shook violently, then cut to black. But as the final frame froze, a faint reflection appeared in the lens. The same light Tara captured in her last photo. Only this time it was moving. Unidentified light source, present in both files. Dr. Rena Cole slowed the video frame by frame. The timestamp at the bottom right read 11:47 and 22 seconds AM. The exact second Tara's smartwatch stopped recording her heartbeat. Timeline confirmed. Final moments. Crow stared at the paused frame, at that sliver of reflected light shaped like a face. The man in the tape wasn't a stranger to her. Somehow Tara knew him, and when the team enhanced the final few pixels, the reflection behind her wasn't just a man. It was the faint outline of a camera pointed back at her. Dual camera reflection detected. Whoever was filming Tara was also being filmed. The search team found what the storm had tried to bury. Half a mile off the main trail, a hollowed space under a fallen pine. Inside it, Tara's backpack. Still zipped, still dry. Inside, her journal. The last entry was dated the morning she vanished. If I don't make it back, tell Mom I finally faced it. Below that line, no signature, just a faint thumbprint. Journal found. Missing page torn out. The page before it mentioned someone watching her near the overlook. She wrote, "He said he worked for the park. But why did he have my photo?" That was the line that silenced the room. Detectives retraced every park employee. Only one matched her description. Landon Mercer, the man whose card was found in her car. But when police searched his cabin 2 towns over, it was empty. No signs of struggle. No signs of him. Only a single photograph pinned to the wall. It was the same overlook, but the figure in the photo wasn't Tara. It was another girl, dated 6 years earlier, marked with 2 words, "Next trail." Case reopened, trail temporarily closed. Weeks later, hikers reported hearing footsteps behind them, whispers in the woods that sounded like someone calling for help. And sometimes, just before nightfall, a phone would ping from the ridge, from a number long disconnected. Tara Jensen's. Because sometimes the forest keeps what it's owed. And sometimes it lets you hear it back. Subscribe to The Veil of Secret for more true stories that linger long after the screen fades to black.